All right, everyone. Well, welcome back to Thompson Talks with
Tony.
and Christina.
Mhm.
You said I can't do that weird clap this
Yeah,
time,
don't do
so
the nutty
I
professor
I
thing.
have to think of something else. So we just want to briefly remind you. Last episode we talked about Ajani's story, right? So things not going as planned.
Pregnancy story. Yep.
Yep, pregnancy story, things not going as planned.
Mhm.
So this episode is fitting and it just keeps it going. This is Oakley's story.
Oakley's
So
pregnancy story.
Oakley. So
Mhm.
Oakley was born, just to let the cat out the bag. Oakley was born 8 days after my mom passed away.
Mhm.
And in this episode, we'll just talk about, all that happened during the pregnancy and leading up to the day Oakley was born, February 22nd, 2025, which is Oakley's birthday. So we'll talk about how should we respond when experiencing death and life at the same time.
The reality, real quick, we're gonna leave every episode. We try to leave you with
Mhm.
actionable strategies, mindset strategies, and shifts. And so the reality is, with this episode, it was our first time experiencing both of those individually or together
Yeah.
at the exact same time. Like when you wake up one day and you know you got your second child being developed on the inside of you and developing for months and months at a time.
Mhm.
And then we already told you guys that when we found out about Miss Burton um, with the stage 4 cancer, and you see a person, you're believing that they're going to be healed, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But then you start to see their body change and their mind change and just all these changes, and there's growth happening. There's life happening on the inside of you,
Yeah.
and on the outside of you, there's this life being slipped away.
Yeah.
This person slipping away,
Yeah.
if you will.
Though we were believing for my
Though we
mom's
were believing
healing,
for
you
healing,
couldn't ignore what you were seeing,
couldn't.
and witnessing, because we were in the thick of it with my mom.
And so
Um,
that's what we mean by life and
yeah.
death
Mhm.
happening at the exact same time. And we always are believing God
Mhm.
for the victory and for the triumph and
Right.
for the great things and
Absolutely.
for the healing and for the prosperity and for we'll never stop believing him for
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
But what do you do
Yeah.
when in the midst of believing for these things,
Yeah.
you experience the exact opposite?
Yeah. Mm.
What do you do?
Yeah.
And how should you respond? And so we're gonna leave you with some takeaways. We're gonna leave you with some things that we hope will help you. And so just to get into Oakley, we talked a little bit about, you want me to talk about Oakley real quick and then or you want
I
to talk about Oakley?
I love Oakley. Oh,
Okay.
I love both my babies, but
You see
Oakley.
what she just did? She like
No,
Oakley more than Nah, I'll be
you.
real. She really do fool with a Johnny more than Oakley. I ain't gonna lie to you. She
Yeah.
like a Johnny more than Oakley for
Okay.
real,
No,
for real.
I don't. I don't have a
She,
favorite.
hey, I'm telling you, right, what he gets away with, this dude could literally murder somebody,
Okay.
and she's gonna say, like, why did the person get in the way of his knife?
Can you
That's what she
stop?
would say.
Okay. Oakley is our 1 year
That's what
old.
she would say.
Oakley is our 1 year old. She's very loving, and she's very pretty.
Yeah.
People stop us all the time. I mean, not
Mhm.
just women. I mean,
Yeah.
the most manly men. They stop
Mhm.
us and they compliment how pretty she is.
And she's wide. She's a little wide on the wide
She's
side.
lit thick.
Thick, real thick.
She's a little thick.
You gotta be careful what you put on her.
Okay.
Clothes wise.
And it looks like she has fake eyelashes. So
Yeah.
her eyelashes are very pretty.
Yeah.
Tony taught her to beat up Ajani,
Mhm.
so he'll hold Ajani down, and
Yep.
they'll be Ajani up.
Yep.
And so in this episode, we'll talk about the curveballs of Oakley's birth. The same thing before, during, and after.
Yep. And again, it's the topic being death and life at the exact same time. Want to remind you guys that this is not to speak negative over
Mhm.
anybody's life. We're not hoping that you experience
Yeah.
any of this. but it's the realities of what some people do experience and go through.
Yeah.
And so if you have dealt with anything like this, if you are currently going through anything like this, we hope that you can pull from this and use this as encouragement, support, and motivation. And so,
For sure. And the big thing is, you may not, and I pray you never experience
absolutely.
this same exact season, but you may experience a season where you have just those two extremes happening.
Mhm.
You know, whether it's you know the good and the bad, if you
Yep.
will.
Yep.
So to jump right in it, so when we found out that we were pregnant with Oakley,
Mhm.
I like to say we weren't trying,
No.
but we weren't not trying.
Yeah, she was an accident.
So
She was an accident for sure.
we weren't trying, but we weren't not trying.
Yeah, we was practicing,
I
but we
remember.
wasn't trying. No.
Okay, I remember. I was like, I just wasn't feeling good, and I was like, oh, I said I can't be pregnant, and I really didn't want to take a pregnancy test. Tony went and bought it. He was like, take it, and did you take it? Like he made me take it, and yeah,
I went to the CVS down the street. I remember that.
Then we found out. So we found out we were pregnant. And with the Ajani's, you know, we waited a while before we told everybody, like 12 weeks, you know, again, the plan, you know, they say you should wait until, you know, so, but with Oakley, I was like, okay, whatever. So I remember my parents were over, and Tony and my mom, you and my mom would always play Scrabble.
But I used to, real quick, let me talk about the Scrabble.
Okay.
Give me 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
I promise you, Miss Burton right now in heaven is probably playing Scrabble, but whoever she playing, when she see me coming, she running. Because I used to whoop, but let me tell you something. She used to beat me in Scrabble when she taught me how to play. And she used to whoop my tail. But then I started studying these words, 2-letter words, 3-letter words.
They wouldn't let me play. Boy, I wasn't on their level. Boy, I would come with the 2 and 3 words. They wanted.
Mr. Burton, we used to bet money, Mr. Burton's money. Because Miss Burton wasn't using her money. Boy, I used to be taking his money. Boy, I was taking Mr. Burton's money so terrible. Okay. I was whooping Miss Burton's tail.
Listen here, Tony.
Stop playing with me. So if you want to play Scrabble, come on, hit me up. DM me.
So listen, when we told everybody we were pregnant with Ajani, you know, got the cookies and plans.
Well, we did it with Scrabble.
Right, we did it with Scrabble with Oakley. So but it just was like we didn't really think about it, you know, much. It's just like, okay, what can we do?
Yeah.
So you got the Scrabble board out, and you
with Oakley.
Yeah, with Oakley, and you wrote pregnant on it.
Yeah,
I think
we're pregnant.
Yeah, we're pregnant. You were getting it ready, and then you told my mom to look, and she was like, Tony, take the towels off the board or something. Mm-hmm. And then you were like, no, read it. What does it say? And she was like, what? You know, what did she say? She was like, Tony, you know,
something sarcastic.
You know, something sarcastic. And they were real happy, my mom, my dad. And I remember after you guys were done playing, I came and sat at the table by my mom. And I'm like, Mom, why do you look so sad? And I think I joked like, you mad Tony beat you or something? And because she really looked sad. And then she said, I'm just thinking about the baby. I just really hope that I'm here when the baby's born. And when she said it, I'll be honest, I'm like, Mom, what are you talking about? You're going to be here. And she just said, yeah, I know, but I just really hope that I'm here.
So this is probably, you remember...
We found out. We told her we found out we were pregnant like the very beginning of July. Okay. So they were over our house. We were like 4 weeks pregnant. So like towards
4 weeks pregnant.
So it's like the end of July, very beginning of August. I want to say it must have been when they spent the night for my birthday. So my birthday is the beginning of August.
Okay.
And I think it was. They stayed for like a week. You know, they come up for a week. So I think it was like the end of July, and then they were over.
And her treatment at the time was going, I don't remember if was it at a standstill, or where was that at? I don't remember.
She was still doing fine.
I know we went on the trip and all of that.
Yeah, she was doing
March.
She was doing fine. Yeah, March things took a turn for the worse.
Yeah. And then
it started doing good.
Gotcha.
So when she said it, that's why it caught me off guard. I'm like, Mom, what are you talking about?
Right.
And I just was like, you'll be here. So that was, you know, very end of July, beginning of August, you know, that we told them. And then in September is when my mom reached her milestone of when the doctors gave her prognosis,
Mm.
or the date of her prognosis of, I think you will live up to this date.
Yep.
So she reached it
Yep.
and she was doing good.
Yeah.
So we, were celebrating,
Yep.
what have you. They went to Canada
Mm-hmm.
and she was looking good. I mean, she had like her low moments, because she was going through treatment, but she was good. And that was in September. And around that time too, you cut down on your speaking engagements,
Mm-hmm.
the traveling speaking engagements. So you
Mm-hmm.
weren't traveling. So because you wanted to be there for me, um, me being pregnant, Ajani, my mom,
Mm-hmm.
my dad, you wanted to be there. So you cut down on that. And during that time, it's like I knew I was pregnant. It's the weirdest thing. I knew I was pregnant, but I really wasn't focused on it. And I
Mm.
think it came because that mindset was because I didn't, quote unquote, plan on getting pregnant.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't the ideal
Yeah.
time. We were still focused on my mom.
Right.
Johnny, who knows what we're going through with Johnny, but it seemed
Yeah.
like we were always going through something with Johnny. So it was something. I can't tell you what at that moment. I have to go back and look. But it was something, I'm sure. And my mom talked about throwing me like a little mini shower. And I was like, no, Mom, you did enough with the first one. And again, I knew I was pregnant, but I think part of me deep inside, as thankful as I am, and I don't take for granted getting pregnant. I know people struggle with that. It's a blessing for sure. But I just was like, the timing of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just was like, it will be mornings, Tony. I will wake up and I will like jump because I saw my belly and I forgot I was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how much I was not focused on my pregnancy this go around.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew I was pregnant though. But again, I told my mom no shower. We didn't want to find out the gender. We were just very like focused on my mom, focused on Ajani, just focused on life. And we didn't announce the pregnancy. I think, we texted some people
Mm-hmm.
and told them. And
There wasn't a grandiose
oh
celebration the
no,
same way it
it
was
with
for
it
Johnny.
wasn't.
Yep.
And we just really wanted to stay locked in. And then we had our second business, which you
Vending.
mentioned, in
Vending
the last
business.
episode, our
Mm-hmm.
vending business. So we were just focusing on that. And then came the sickness
Mm-hmm.
again. But it was different this time. I actually felt worse with the morning sickness with Oakley.
Mm-hmm.
The difference, though, is I had a toddler and I had my mom.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to keep going.
Right.
I couldn't just like sleep all day and, do what I did when I was pregnant with the Johnny. So it's just crazy how God sustains you and gives you the energy because, I mean, it was all him as far as me like getting through it because I was really not feeling well.
And let me interject. When you say you had your mom, and this is this, but this is for the people listening.
Yeah.
I mentioned this in episode 1, you being her bulldog.
Yeah.
Every appointment,
Yeah.
you were a part of every call when the doctors were calling.
Oh yeah.
And you were on 3-way,
Or I was calling.
or you were
Yeah.
calling, you were researching things.
Yeah. My
you were
dad would
telling
call and ask
doctors
me to do things.
to
Yeah.
retest her in certain
Yeah.
areas.
Yeah.
You were talking to her. I don't think you missed a single day ever during that 2 and some change year process.
Mm-mm.
You talked to her every single day and encouraged her and told her to keep pushing.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
And I'm here for you. And me and Tony, we're here for you. Like, we're here for you. We're gonna be here. And so like I want the people to understand, like, it wasn't you saying, it wasn't you just saying like you just laying in the bed think with your mom on your mind.
Yeah.
It was what you did for your mom and what you still had to do for Ajani and what you still had to do, even, let's be real, for me. And then what you still had to make sure you were doing for the baby that was now alive on the inside of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was active duty
Yeah.
in all of those areas.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I want to make sure they understood that.
Yeah. Yeah. And the good thing with this pregnancy or pregnancy in general, if if you don't have like a high risk pregnancy or such or complications, the only thing I had to do for Oakley at that time was make sure that I was eating
Yeah.
and taking my
Hmm.
vitamins. She was good. But as you said, put all the focus elsewhere. And yeah, I talked to my mom every single day
Yeah.
and was there for her um, in ways that I'm just thankful that I was able to be there for her.
Yeah.
And once we found out we were pregnant, so like I said, it was July, let's just say July. 4 months later, my mom hit where she, made the prognosis. They said she would only be here and she beat it, and we thank God. And we kept on. And then 4 months later, it's just crazy how quickly things can change.
Hmm.
And we were celebrating Thanksgiving, and my mom was having some issues that week prior with her mouth. And, I was having my dad take her to the doctor, and I was calling the doctor and just seeing it was like a side effect from her treatment. And Thanksgiving laid eyes on her, and it was something wasn't right. So I called the doctor, and they said, you should bring her to the emergency room. And she didn't want to go. Um, but we just stopped Thanksgiving, and me, my dad, and my mom went. And that's when it just was one thing after another. And she was in the hospital, and that's when we were told that she had to go on hospice,
Hmm.
that it was nothing else left. Now we're at the hospital, so this wasn't my mom's main doctor,
Hmm.
who was awesome.
Hmm.
So I call him, and I'm like, this is what they're saying. I need you to review her charts, what's going on. And he called me, and he said, I'm so sorry, but it's nothing else.
Hmm.
There's nothing else that can be done. And we didn't want to believe it or claim it, and we were believing for my mom's healing. So when she was discharged from the hospital, she did not go on hospice.
Hmm.
We said we're gonna keep fighting, and she went home, and then we wound back up in the hospital right before Christmas. And during that stay, um, my mom's oncologist came and spoke to us in person, and my mom, at that point, she said, "You know what? I'm going to go home. We'll do hospice to get the care and such at home." But she said, "I'm still not claiming it. I'm believing in my healing. I
Hmm.
want to be healed." The big thing that she said is, "I want to meet the baby."
Hmm.
So at that point, we found out what the gender was,
Yeah.
because we wanted my mom to know. We wanted to give her like fuel
Hmm.
to know. So we found out that the baby was a girl.
Hmm.
So we told my mom in the hospital that the baby was a girl.
Yeah.
And she was so excited because she wanted a girl.
Yeah.
And when she said, okay, we'll do hospice, she acknowledged she was tired. But the big thing that she said was, I'm trusting God. I'm believing for my healing. But I know either way, whether he heals me on this side or he doesn't, either way, I'm going to be okay.
And real quick, we're gonna have another episode about just grief and really get into the nitty gritties of this. But like Miss Burton went from saying like, I almost like I deserve this
Yeah.
to what you just said,
Yeah.
which was crazy to see her faith journey
Yeah.
and how she went from like, man, is God punishing me
Yeah.
to I trust God.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll have to talk
But
about that for
we'll talk
sure.
about that. But it was just an unbelievable. It was just unbelievable. But anyway, go ahead. I want to touch
Yeah.
that.
No.
Yeah,
No. So yeah. So then
Christmas. So
Christmas. So then
hospice.
hospice. So then my mom was discharged. She wanted me Oakley. We said it was a girl. And then my mom passed away on Valentine's Day,
Mm.
February 14th, 2025. And I immediately then had to go into planning her celebration of life.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that. And I remember one of the days we were over at my parents' house and was doing the planning, and I started having like some contractions, but I thought they were like the fake, the Braxton Hicks. Went home, and I remember hitting submit to submitting her obituary, and it was like midnight or 1 a.m.
Yeah, I was snoring.
Yeah, you were in the other room because
Yeah,
at that point I was
out.
so uncomfortable with my pregnancy. I was sleeping in the guest room.
Yeah.
Because I felt like that mattress was better, and you were like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Johnny, he was in his room, right?
Nah, Johnny was sleeping with you.
He was with me in the bed? Okay.
I
He might
don't
have
he
been,
wasn't
nah.
with me, so
Yeah, nah, I know
you
he
lost
wasn't
your
with you.
son.
Might have.
So anyways, that night, as soon as I hit submit, they started coming. I was like, oh man, this, something. I was trying to ignore it because I was like, no, because I was like, I can't have the baby because my mom's celebration of life was coming. So contractions came, tried to ignore it, couldn't. And this was 2 weeks before our due date.
And real quick, she like, just paint the picture. Not when she say planning for celebration of life, going to look at the venue, picking the venue, booking the venue, picking the colors, picking what's going on the table.
Yeah, writing the obituary, writing the schedule,
getting the videos together, order a service
pictures,
together,
everything. Yeah.
Getting the obituary together, getting people to submit, organizing the submissions, emailing the Etsy people that emailed her the overall template for the obituary, emailing them back and forth because they had to get tweaks. This was all while Oakley, she a big girl now.
Yeah.
She was a big girl. And I remember Christina sitting in the bed doing all this stuff with the belly.
Laptop on the belly.
The expansion of the belly typing while she typing. And I'm thinking to myself, this girl is crazy. But I knew through that God was real. Cause it's let me tell you something, man. I couldn't have did it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I couldn't have did it. But I saw a daughter who really cherished her mom and her mom's legacy.
Yeah.
And wanted to make sure she went, quote unquote, out or transitioned the right way and was celebrated. And so that, along with God's supernatural peace and joy and strength while she's carrying a baby, sustained her.
Yeah, absolutely.
150%. Go ahead.
Absolutely. So when the contractions came, woke Tony up, called my dad so he could come over with Ajani. And the funny thing is, I went through the 12 hours no epidural with Ajani, and I got through it. But these contractions with Oakley, but the big thing is I didn't plan them. Like, it came out of nowhere, right? It was 2 weeks before the date, so I wasn't expecting, like, this was the worst pain. You would have thought that I wouldn't have went through with Ajani. Why are you laughing?
And she got that epi right away with Oakley.
Oh yeah, I was screaming for it, and they kept telling me to wait. And
I said, Christina, you sure you don't want to do it like you did with Ajani?
Yeah, you was playing. But with this one, we had a scheduled C-section. Per my doctor's advice, she felt that I shouldn't try for the VBAC, and I should do the C-section. And quite frankly, mentally, I wouldn't have been able to push the baby.
Yeah. No.
I wasn't even ready for Oakley.
Neither.
I kept asking them. I said, "Can you give me something to keep her in?" And they said, no, you're like 5 centimeters dilated. She's coming.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I mean, I was trying to ignore those contractions. So,
You know what's crazy?
like,
Now that I know how, pretty sweet Oakley is, she probably would have cooperated, to be real with
it
you,
came
man.
out.
She probably, we never know, but she probably would have just, like a butterball turkey, just slipped on up out of there.
Now
for
you
real,
try to
man.
talk about my baby.
Yeah, she been like a
Okay.
turkey.
Okay. Anyways. So we had Oakley. I was able to hold her right away. They like strapped her or something, C-section, put it right on me. So I was able to do that skin to skin.
Yeah.
So it's like that redemption, if you will. I wasn't able to do it with Ajani, but I was able to do it with her. She was fine. And, I'll be honest, I was a little worried because just everything that I've gone through, with my mom and just wondering how it would affect her or something. But she was fine.
Yeah.
And I still wasn't processing everything because I still had on the plant, hat from my mom, if you will. Like, yeah, I just had the baby cut open, but you remember I was on my phone. I still had things to finish up.
Yep.
Could I have delegated it? Could someone have helped? Of course, but I felt I had to see things to completion with my mom.
Yep.
I was there with her from the beginning, and I had to do this for her. So in the hospital, I was holding Oakley, breastfeeding, doing all that stuff, but I was still making sure everything,
100%.
scheduling the pickups of what we had to do. And in the hospital, I wasn't processing things, but the Holy Spirit like reveals stuff, and there was a lot of comforting things. We could talk about that on another episode. That happened in the hospital. With the panda on the, different things. So, and then, I just explained to them what was going on with my mom and asked to be discharged early so we could go to her viewing at the funeral home. So did that, but wasn't able to go to her celebration of life because Oakley was so little, the breastfeeding, it was during that time.
Bunch of people.
It was
You want to make
people
sure that she
that
didn't
was
get
during,
sick or
the
anything.
yucky season. I just had a C-section. So that
Yeah.
was really hard, not being able to be there. And, but again, we could talk about that in another episode. But ultimately that was Oakley. And once we got home, just in the thick of the postpartum and the grief, I don't think it really sunk in that Oakley was there. But again, for all that time, ever since, Ajani was born, then my mom was sick, I had this hat like, go, gotta keep on. So like it just kept on. So it's like now I got a baby, I got a toddler who needs me, I have you, and I'm like juggling it all. But it was a lot. I didn't want to cry around the kids. And I just put on a smile. You and I will have our moments, but we would just keep going. And I didn't understand. I didn't understand the timing of it being so close. I mean, 8 days. 8 days flies by so quick. And just, that my mom, just thinking back. I mean, I still think back to this day at that table, my mom, oh, I just want to meet, I hope I can meet her. Mom, you're going to meet her.
Yeah.
And I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know. And that's Oakley crying now.
Yeah, that's her. She telling us to wrap
she's
it
ready
up,
for
I guess.
me. But yeah, I had to show up for Oakley, breastfeeding, show up for Johnny, show up. And the big thing that I learned is just trusting God's timing and his sovereignty. Knowing that God can't change.
Yeah.
If God's good one day, he's good the next,
Yep.
because he can't change. And, the title of this episode, Death and Life, at the same time. And the big thing is, two things can be true at once.
And so what we want to do is leave, like we always do at the end of the episodes, is leave you with 3 practical mindset shifts or 3 ways to respond to death and life happening simultaneously. Number 1, we'll give you this one. Constantly remind yourself that God cannot change. Just what Christina literally just said. He is faithful and always, key word, is always good. There will be temptations to question him and walk away. And this is where you, at that time, that's where you draw closer. And it says that when you draw near to him, he will draw near to you and show himself faithful. And so he never fails. You want to hit number 2?
Yeah. Change the clock in your head. There's no such thing as perfect timing. And as I said, God's timing and sovereignty. Do I know why my mom wasn't able to meet Oakley when she was so close? Do I know why? The list could go on. I don't. But I have to trust God's timing and knowing that he's sovereign. And, one beautiful thing in it is we were able to name Oakley in honor of my mom, Oakley Catherine in honor of my mom. And, that's a beautiful thing. And I forgot to say this, we were able to tell my mom Oakley's name before she passed. So that was really special. But the big thing is just, going back with what we talked about in the previous episode, about God being in control, just changing that clock in our head and just trusting God's timing.
I love it. And lastly, this is a big one. Don't let fear or grief make you stagnant.
Yeah.
Christina could have had, and still to this day, as she continues to work through grief, as she continues to breastfeed Oakley every single day, change her. I'll be real with you. I tapped out on the diaper changing. I can't do it no more.
I could be in a meeting and he peeks in.
No, I can't do it, man.
Holding up a diaper.
I can't. I've reached. Let me tell you something.
Tony, just be quiet.
Says, I can't do it. Somebody, hey, that whole
Tony,
peeing on yourself and then another human got to come wipe you, or messing on yourself, another human got to change. I despise.
Okay, keep going.
Having to say all that, I watched Christina up until this point handle all this, put all this on her plate, and she hasn't been stagnant in the healing process. She hasn't been stagnant in her roles and responsibilities, her obligations. She hasn't been stagnant in making sure the people around her are taken care of. And again, most importantly, she hasn't been stagnant in her walk with God. She has continued to move forward. She has continued to take risks. She has continued to worship and read her word and pray. She has continued to be consistent in the way that she's been consistent at her own pace, not at Tony's pace or anybody else's pace, but her pace. She has not been stagnant. And earlier, somebody threw this quote out here, and I want to share it with you guys. God can't steer a parked car. He can't steer a stagnant car. He wants us in any season of our lives, the worst season. I'm going to be real with y'all. This by far was the toughest season I have personally ever experienced, or Christina has personally ever experienced.
And a long season, when you think of the normal season, being, summer, spring, winter, fall, like this started 2023.
Come on.
And it's 2026.
Come on.
But even before that, 2022, when I was pregnant with Ajani. But yeah, it's definitely been something. But we're still here.
We are still here, and what I want to leave you, what we want to leave you guys with is keep going.
Yeah.
Like when you don't know what to do something. That's why I got this shirt on, do it today. Like whatever it is you need to be doing. Let me tell you something. If you lost your mom, do it today. Go do the thing today.
Yeah.
If you are having to breastfeed and then go to do a podcast episode like what Christina just did, still do it today.
Yeah.
If you are fighting for your children because your children are losing their minds and they in the middle school or the high school age, like do it today.
Yeah.
In the midst of the hurts and the pains, in the midst of the valleys, do what you need to be doing today.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, God will honor that.
Yeah.
He will see that you are, Christina, moving forward.
Yeah.
You're pushing, you're pressing. You had every reason to quit and to give up. You had every reason. I'm gonna keep it a buck. You had every reason to say, I'm done with life.
Yeah.
You had every reason to say, I'm going to stay depressed. You had every reason to say, I can't do this anymore. I'm walking away from my marriage. You have every reason to stay poor me. You had every reason to throw in the towel.
Yeah.
And you didn't.
Yeah.
And so what I want people to pull from that is do it today. Keep moving. Don't be stagnant. Don't let fear cripple you. Don't let the lows of life cripple you.
Yeah.
It is just a season. This storm, it'll pass.
It will.
Take it. Listen, you talking to people.
Yeah.
Tell
it
them.
will. It will.
It will pass. Listen, I promise you.
Yeah.
It will pass. It may even get tougher than what you're experiencing right now. But it will, won't it?
It will.
It'll
will.
pass.
You just have to be intentional and push through. You
100%.
have to choose joy. You have to choose what you want, because God still has great things in store for us. We know that.
Amen.
And with it being a season and just, pushing through, and it's a lot that we've learned. And the big thing through this is learning to trust him.
Yeah.
Learning to rely and depend on him.
Yeah.
And one another, but ultimately him.
Yeah.
Because it's days I fail you.
Yeah.
It's days you fail me.
100%.
And it's needed.
Let her tell that I fail her more than she failed me.
Having
said that,
I did not say that.
like we do at the end of every episode,
Yes.
if you are watching this and listening to this, and you have not received Jesus Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, and that's something that you want to do, listen, it is the most important decision you will ever make in your entire life.
Yeah.
And so if that's you and that's something you want to do, all I want you to do is repeat after me, and you will be in the family of God. Father God, I thank you for saving me. I believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, that he walked this earth, lived a sinless life, died on the cross for my sins, was buried for me, and rose again on the third day. Because I believe that, I ask you, Jesus, to forgive me of my sins, wash me in your blood, cleanse me, give me a fresh start. Amen. If you prayed that prayer, please send us an email, send us a DM. We want to know who you are. We want to give you some resources. We want to point you in the right direction. It's important to get connected and be mentored and discipled as you make a huge decision like this. And again, welcome to the family.
Welcome.
Of God. He is going crazy. Heaven is going crazy. Miss Burton right now is in heaven, jumping up for joy, going crazy. And so with that being said, we're going to end it here. We hope you enjoyed this episode. And
like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Yep.
Be on the lookout for our monthly giveaways. And we just thank you for listening in. And this was Thompson Talks with
Tony. We got to get the outro, man. All right, do it again.
And this was Thompson Talks with
Okay, I'm just playing. Go ahead.
Thompson Talks with
Tony
and Christina.
See y'all next time.